What's going on, 2K fans? It's NBA Also 967 here, and today, rather than just bringing you a 2K18 video, I will be bringing to you a NBA 2K19 wishlist video, which I'm dedicating to my career. And to start off, I believe that 2K should expand the neighborhood and bring in a new currency, which should just be what our current wage is from our rookie contract, whether or not we're a number one pick or the very last pick like Isaiah Thomas. And by expanding the neighborhood, I mean like moving everything around. Make it more like a neighborhood rather than everything being within a block or two. Move the Pro-Am Arena like 7 blocks away from the tattoo parlor or something along those lines. Whether or not what 2K does this or not is entirely up to them, of course. But with them expanding the neighborhood, this could also bring in the usage of a car. There was a car, of course, in 2K14, but we didn't actually buy it, of course. We were just driving in it to get to the game. It was like the main menu screen, basically. And with our contract, we'd be able to buy it with the money rather than VC, because with VC it'd probably be like 50,000 VC, and we don't really need to spend all that much on just the car. But it just brings more of a neighborhood aspect to the game. And to go on with this, it also bring more of a variety of where to put our house at, and also how big the house will be, whether it's a mansion, just a really large house, or a small house if you're a second round draft pick because you don't have much money to depend on. And the second thing I want to talk about is the archetypes. Say for instance we want to make a Porzingis type build where you're 7'3" and you want to shoot the ball and also defend. You should also be able to be given like a 75 speed, a 71 speed, something that's respectable, because when you're over 7 feet, and according to 2K, you usually just get like a 55 speed or below, something along those lines. And what I think that 2K should really do is let us pick between all 6 archetypes rather than just a dual archetype or a singular archetype, because that also bring more variety to the game and have more players wanting to play it, because they'd be able to choose what they really want to be good at. For example, for me personally, I would choose a 6'6" shooting guard, and the order of my archetypes would be: first, playmaking; second, sharpshooting; third, slashing; fourth, defending; fifth, post scoring; and sixth, rebounding. And in those orders respectively, the rating should be between 92 and 98 for the first one, 85 to 91 for the second one, 78 to 84 for the third, and for the fourth, 71 to 77, for the fifth, 64 to 70, the sixth, 57 to 63, because it's basically one of your weaker part of your games. And this is of course for disregarding stamina and strength, and as well as like speed, but that should also be changed based on what you put as your wingspan, what you put as your weight and your height, just like how 2K does it. The next 2 things are one of the more simpler things that you could add into the game, which PC modders could do with like the cyberface or something like that. Which one of those things is hairstyles. We need more hairstyles. Me personally, whether a 2K dev or a 2K fan, a big 2K YouTuber is listening to this or not, let's face it, NBA Live bested 2K in hairstyles. Not the game, just the hairstyles. Like, you were able to pick like Lil Yachty braids, Lil Uzi dreads, or whatever he has on his head. We should have that type of variety, because what if I want hair kind of like Robert Covington or Dr. J Afro? There is those hairstyles in the game, but it's just on those specific players. And what also 2K could do is literally just use the hairstyles that are on current NBA players. It's not that difficult, And also, in general in the game, 2K does not keep up with the hairstyles, which is one of their faults because Robert Covington is still basically bald-headed when he has like a mohawk going on, and also occasionally he'll like wear dreads. And another thing is how to apply our tattoos, because this year I personally believe that it was one of the worst years where you could apply tattoos on, because you were given such a bad angle and you were only looking off the mirror. Because if your forearm was facing the mirror, you couldn't see the other side of it where you wanted to place a tattoo, which I think is an easy fix because it's been in the game in previous years. But that's just one of the things that I think should also be fixed in the game and added in, or whatever you want to call it. And the next thing is the biggest part of the game, the story. I feel like we should have kind of what Spike Lee had into the game, where we start off in high school, or in my case, I believe that we should start off in middle school. But instead of starting off right away as like a 6'10" center, we should start off at like 5'7" or 5'6". You decide they should cut off the like height limit in middle school to like 6 feet, something like that. And then when you get to high school, you should grow up to like maybe 6'4", depending on, of course, what type of build and what position you're going to play, how tall you eventually want to get to. And then when you get to college, that should be your final height. Like in my case, I just said the 6'6" shooting guard. And with all that, 2K should bring back the Summer League, the Draft Combine, and the G League. I don't remember exactly if they did have a Summer League before, but if we're having a bad game, just because we've been playing the game for a little while doesn't mean that you should keep getting those minutes. Have them bench us if we're really having a poor game. I don't know how difficult the system works because I've never worked for 2K or how to program and stuff like that, but they're able to bench players just after getting in foul trouble. And sometimes even then, if you have like 5 fouls in second quarter, they don't sub you out, which is a big flaw in the game because it just doesn't make sense. Why am I in the game still if I've gotten my 3rd or my 4th foul already in the second quarter? As for the G League, if we're shooting like 32% or like even 36% or less, then I feel they should send us down to the G League because we're playing really poorly, or if we're just putting up 2 points per game, then the front office should decide that we should be sent down to the G League and whatnot, because we're just not playing good. And after running a couple games in the G League, of course you have to also be productive. Then we should be sent back up to the big league, of course. And this should also still apply to increasing your badge progress. Also, I feel like something else that should be added into the game is something that should just be added in the overall game is having the opportunity to get like a technical or a flagrant. Of course, there is flagrant in the game, but it's not by choice or by your decision, of course. But for a technical, they should have some type of button configuration of how to respond to like a missed call or a bad call in general, and then we should be able to get a technical because of that. And still, of course, talking about MyCareer, we should also build chemistry with players that just aren't a part of your story, such as like if you're on the Pelicans and you want to get along with DeMarcus because then he has a hot temper and he might not pass it to you, so you decide to play cool with him. But then say with someone like Alexis Ajinça, you just like, bro, I don't care about you, you just like talk smack to him and all that. And sticking with the RPG aspect of the game, I feel like 2K should add whether we're humble or cocky. And I don't just mean like when you're being interviewed by David Aldridge or by Shaq, Kenny, and stuff like that. Like on the court, we should do it. That should kind of affect you, or off the court, the stuff that you do should affect whether you have a humble career, a cocky one, or someone that's like Kawhi where you're just silent. And that's all I have for this My Career NBA 2K19 wish list. I will be bringing to you 4 more NBA 2K19 wish list videos, which will relate to new old school teams that should be brought into the game, what 2K should bring back into the game, my league, and of course the second biggest mode, my team. Have a good one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share this so that the devs and Ronnie could see this, as well as other big YouTubers, so that they could get their opinions on it. And I hope you guys really enjoyed the video.